Hey, Bob.
Hello.
Why was school easier for cave people?
Because they didn't have pencils?
They had no history to study.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Nonsense. Part 2 of the school days. Because we just love school. Don't you love school?
I wouldn't say all that.
I don't think I would either, but I'm just saying, it's funny.
It's good material, if nothing else.
Yeah, because, I mean, based on last episode, that was fucking awesome. So we left you guys on a quick cliffhanger. And your question was a solid doozy. Because I got a handful. You want to ask that question again?
Do you have any teachers that you despise and ruined your entire school year?
Multiple.
Damn.
Do I have to just pick one?
You can do multiple.
I'd like to do multiple,
Okay,
please.
okay.
I would like to
Do you have a ranking system for this?
I do
or
not.
Are they kind of even planed?
I think they're all shitty in their own special way.
Okay.
I'll start with the least one that pissed me off. It was I'm gonna throw these motherfuckers' names out there. Miss
Damn.
White. Start off Miss White.
You can't put their real names
I don't give a
out
fuck.
there.
Miss White. I think she just hated men. She was a
Probably did.
men-hating ass motherfucker. I think she was Jamaican.
Yeah,
And she's
that
just
makes
this
sense.
giant, fat Jamaican lady who just hated men, I think. Just an asshole. She just only picked on all the dudes in class. Just consistently. And I'm like, I didn't even do nothing wrong half of the time. And she was just still picking on me. Like, that was when I was still like a half-decent student in high school.
Why? What would she do that picked on?
Nothing. She would always just single out dudes. Like, she just had this knack to single out dudes. And just be bitching about what men did. And she was a history teacher. So she always just
That's
like
a terrible subject.
yeah. So she would always double down. It's like,
That's probably why she hates me.
well, it's like, well, bitch, why don't you do something about it instead
Right,
of teaching
do
it? Why don't you
something
make
else.
some history or something? I don't know. Stop. Get off my ass. I didn't do
Right.
none of it. I'm here. I like history ain't had shit to do with me. I just got here. Now, she was just an asshole, but she didn't ruin my life. I would never forget. Like, that's when I understood that some women in this world just hate men. So just like singling out dudes consistently. So she's definitely one of them. I don't remember his name offhand, but my Spanish 1 teacher, just weird ass gay dude that touched people too much. And thinking about it now, I probably could have got a big ass settlement check if I remember this motherfucker's name. Because that dude legit made me cut class. Like, I never cut class before, and I never wanted to go to his class ever again. That motherfucker was always touching motherfuckers on their shoulders and shit like that, breathing a little too close to him and shit. Like, niggas, personal space. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying he was, sexually assaulting any kids, but he didn't believe in personal space. You know what I mean?
I mean,
That's all.
I'm sure there's something in there.
I don't know. And I didn't trust that nigga because he wore flip-flops. He wore flip-flops and sandals consistently. Like, that was his shoe game. His shoe game was either flip-flops or sandals. I don't trust nobody that wears sandals year-round.
Yeah, it's Chicago, dude.
Yeah, it's cold as
It's
fuck.
cold.
Never wore shoes. Motherfucker never put on a pair of shoes. Always sandals. No socks. At least he did that right. But I'm just like, nigga, it's cold as fuck. And you ain't got no socks on. You sketchy as fuck. So, yeah, he ruined my life because I fucked up a whole year of school because I failed Spanish 1 because I never went. Because that nigga was weird. Passed the fuck out of Spanish 2, though. Spanish 2 was easy as fuck. Didn't even need the first level. Just upgrade it, man. I had enough Spanish knowledge. I can speak just enough. You know what I'm saying? So he was one. Um, who else? Who else fucked me up? Um, I think that's all for high school. Nobody else really pissed me off in high school. Everybody else was pretty decent, teacher wise. Elementary school, all of them. Every last one of them.
Okay.
First, second grade, Miss Tisdale, just useless.
We already heard about her.
Right.
Listen to the first one.
Right. She wasn't a bad teacher. She didn't give you any effort. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like she just came in.
That's
She was
partially on the school too. To put two grades together like that, that's too much work.
I will rebut that when we get to my favorite teachers.
Okay.
So she just put no effort, and then my 7th and 8th grade teacher, Miss Jones, which I've bitched about consistently in front of you.
Yeah.
And she was that bad. I didn't like her.
And your brother both.
My older brother had her as a teacher. He hated her with a passion, and my grandmother hated her with a passion. Because she was like, she one of them uppity ass niggas. As you can tell, Miss Jones was from the suburbs. She had an education. And I've told many times, many people, black women with educations are assholes. They are just automatically assholes. That is the two spectrum of black women. Either they're uneducated, dumb, and ghetto, or they're educated and assholes.
Dang.
Like, there's no middle ground when it comes to black women. You're just way too educated. You're too smart for your own damn good. Is this nigga moonwalking? But yeah, no, she's just an educated asshole. She just took everything way too serious. Everything was more than what it needed to be. You know what I mean? Like you had teachers that didn't try, and then you had Miss Jones who tried way too hard. And case in point, Black History Month. What do you do for Black History Month most of the time? Do a little quick project, maybe write an essay on, a black figure from that time frame or some shit like that. Nah, not Miss Jones. She's like, I'm gonna give you one. This is who you're gonna learn. You're gonna learn this motherfucker inside and out. I expect you to show up on Tuesday dressed in a dashiki.
Where are you supposed to get that from?
The fuck if I knew? But I need you dressed in African garment to class. So you can give your report dressed as an African.
But you guys had a dress code and
she made sure she went above and beyond to make sure that was not in effect that day. So we had to still show up in uniform, but then the rest of the day we were in African garment. Ugh. And we had to get on stage and shit like that and perform our fucking Black History projects in front of other people. So fucking unnecessary. Yeah. You know how kids have to, every kid has to read a book in school, you know what I mean? That's normal. We had to read a book every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks, no ifs, ands, or buts. You're reading a full book and writing a essay on that book. But she wouldn't just let you write an essay. She called them LOVs, and they had to be in letter form. So you had to write a letter to someone explaining how great this book was.
Oh.
While also pinpointing and answering these few questions. But you just couldn't answer the questions. You had to make it sound like a conversation. So not only would she grade you on, is this accurate information, but she would also make sure anytime you deviated a little bit and just like, well, this question and here's this answer. No, that's not a typical conversation. Make it sound more like a conversation. Give me the information without giving me the information. Like, are you fucking kidding me? It's a book report. I didn't want to read this book. I actually didn't read this book. I'm giving you cliff notes and I'm making the rest of the shit up as I go. Don't give me a hard time. This bitch was a problem. I hate
still
it.
In school?
No. I think the last I knew, she's in the corporate office downtown. She was like in charge. Worse. She was like in charge of like math and science or some shit like that, like a math and science department. I was just like, God damn, dude, so unnecessary. She's one of the people that have been in the school system all her damn life, so she got tenure like a motherfucker. Yeah, no, those individuals definitely ruined my life when it came to just schooling in general. Like, 7th and 8th grade was the worst times of my life. It was so bad I actually got counseling.
Well,
not even from the school. Like, I went out and got a psychiatrist.
Damn.
Because I'm like, dude, all this shit sucks, dude. All this shit's terrible. Shout out to psychiatrists, by the way. You need help, get help with BetterHelp.
Yeah.
I'm not sponsored by BetterHelp, but BetterHelp sponsor me. Fuck it. I'm on your side, man. I'll use that service.
Yeah.
That sounds like a dope service. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, no. 7th, 8th grade was terrible. My first and second grade teacher put no effort in. All my art teachers were ass. Like actual doo-doo water.
Mm.
I never learned how to draw until it was the last minute. Yeah. No, I never had a good teacher in elementary school. All my teachers were terrible. Every last one of them. Except for 2. High school, most of them were terrible. Just little to no effort. Like no one just actually gave a shit. You know what I mean? So that's all it is. What about you? You have a hated teacher?
I have 2.
Okay.
They're both in high school. One was an art teacher, and I love art. Like, art was my favorite thing
You
ever.
are an artiste.
Yeah, I loved it.
Shout out to Kelly for her art. My logo, by the way. I don't think we've ever mentioned it. My logo, that fucking dope ass mic with the black and red shit, all her creation.
Yeah.
So shout out to Kelly for the arts.
Yeah. I adore art. It was always my favorite thing. Always loved it. I loved every aspect of it. I still do.
Mm-hmm.
But in high school,
I love this commercial, by the way. That's my favorite commercial.
yeah,
Victory Auto Rex. I'm sorry. Continue.
it's awful.
I never seen this one. This is some 3D rendition bullshit. I just like watching a dude just open a car door and the car door falls off.
Why is there dinosaurs?
I don't know. It's fucking weird. It's dumb. Anyway, continue.
But yeah, I was in an art class. And so the art teacher that we had at the beginning of high school was retiring. So she was great. Right. She was, put all her effort in. She personally went out and made sure that we had everything that we needed.
Nice.
And we had a huge room with all the stuff in it. She had all of our art displayed in art shows, like legit art shows, and not just like school stuff. Like, she did everything.
Like on TV and shit?
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
On TV, she did these fairs that were like art fairs that she would take us to. It was a lot of really cool stuff.
All right.
But she retired, and it's like, yeah, she'd been working her whole life. It's time for her to go. Her replacement, though, is this asshole that just graduated college.
Of course.
Just had twins, so she's a new mom.
She
with
just
twins.
Know everything.
Yeah. And she was fucking the journalist teacher.
You had a journalist class?
Yeah, we had a journalist.
Jesus Christ.
Which is the other teacher I hated.
This is a whole couple you couldn't stand.
I just didn't like him. I didn't like him at all. So this journalist guy was also the same thing. Like, he was a new person. It was a new program that they tried to start up. So my school had this vocational program where they had classes that you could take into college, and you had college credits
already,
going into it. So that was one of them, was the journalist stuff. The thing is, this man didn't accommodate for my dyslexia. I have dyslexia, so it's hard for me to read and write and do things. He didn't care. He just was like, well, everyone else can do it, you can do it too. It's shit like that. So
just fuck my problems.
Yeah, just fuck you, do it anyway.
Asshole.
Yeah, it was a total dick. And I went to my counselor about it, because my counselor was part of my disability program too. So I went to her and told her about it. And because there was no other classes available, I had to stay in it.
Right.
That was it. So I was in there, and I was in there with one of my friends, which was great. I had somebody to talk to, but she was actually really good at writing, and she was actually really good at the class. So he kind of compared us. He was like, well, you're friends, you should be able to do it too. That's not how that works. Thing, right? So he was just a dick, and I hated him. the thing that these two had in common and why they weren't like together before coming to the school. They just started in the same year.
Okay.
But they both were part of the volleyball team, which was made up of a bunch of jockey girls. And they were like really close with them, and they were part of their thing, right? So they did everything that they could to get these jockey volleyball girls to have like the best that they could get out of both of their classes,
Right.
without any of the effort. Like they didn't
Of
have
course
to do most of the work. They didn't have to do shit. They just got all the good grades. So
Assholes. That's
Yeah,
absolutely
it's
bullshit. That
assholes.
actually pisses me off.
yeah. So more than halfway through, I guess. But we were at a certain point in the year, you had to kind of decide what kind of classes you wanted to take for the next year. And you
Right.
had to go to your counselor, and we all had separate counselors splitting up the school. So you had to go to your counselors and be like, I want to study this, 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 and this
Right.
next year.
That's kind of dope.
Yeah.
Was
it
that the
it's cool.
fucking ref that was beating the shit out of the player?
Mhm.
Holy shit. Alright, continue. I'm sorry. I just need to see if that was a ref that was beating the shit out of fucking.
I don't
fucking
know if you can rewind it.
yeah, I can't run commercials.
Um, um, so we had to go to the counselors and tell them the classes we wanted to take. And at that point, I had done art 1 and 2. So I was going to go into art 3, which is like the higher things and
Right.
the more just keeping up with art because I loved art.
Right.
So what you had to do was go to the teacher and not ask for approval, but be like, here, sign off on this paper that I want to go to your class next year. And she takes this paper and goes, I don't think you're good enough for art 3. Those are literal her words that came out of her
Damn,
mouth.
like that?
Yeah. With the volleyball team all around her in this little circle. That's what she said.
Now, I just want to pick a little bit of this apart real quick. You said she's fresh out of college, right?
Yeah. Brand new. First year.
First year. And this is what, your sophomore or senior year? Junior?
It'd be sophomore into junior.
Okay. Because the reason I'm asking this is because that means that's still in that era where you're really close in age. Because you guys would be like, what, 16 almost?
Yeah, I think
On average. And she's probably no more than 23-ish?
maybe 23, 24, yeah.
Right. So you guys are very similar in age. So she's probably still holding on to the, like, I'm still cool. I'm one of the cool kids.
Yeah, we just wanted to show off her volleyball friends.
Fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Piece of shit.
Yep.
Like, that actually bugs the fuck out of me. Like, why would you even be that kind of human?
No.
Shit on a person's
Asshole.
dream to be better.
Yeah. Yeah, it was bad. I actually stopped drawing and stopped doing like all art. I was like, well, fuck, I'm not good. And I stopped doing everything.
No shit.
For a while. Like I didn't do anything.
What's her name?
I don't remember.
Shout out to that goofy bitch.
Yeah.
I'll find
Well,
you.
here's the thing. She got her sweet revenge the next year.
No shit.
So, in this journalist class that I was in, dude was the same kind of way. He after I went to the counselor about what he was saying and what he was doing with me, she kind of put him on probation. So he was like being super watched by the principal and by the counselor,
No shit.
just to make sure that he was keeping up with regulations, right?
Right.
So there was one day that they were doing their volleyball stuff together, right? The art teacher and this journalist, Dick. Volleyball team was all done with their game and they were going home. The janitor caught these two fucking in his room on camera. Fucking in his journalist room.
Yeah, I had cameras in the classroom?
Yeah.
Damn. I don't think we had cameras in the room.
Yeah.
No, we had cameras. They were broken.
Oh. Yeah, they were fucking each other, and mind you, they're both married to someone else.
Oh, see, I thought they were like together.
No.
Like as a couple. No shit.
No. So they both got fired.
Nice.
For misconduct.
Decent.
After a year of them being there.
Couldn't even keep it in your pants. No tenure for you, bitch.
And the art teacher, I don't know about the journalistic, but the art teacher, her husband left her and took both the twins from her. Good. Because apparently she was on drugs too, which that even went on to her lawsuit with the school, and she got all kind of fucked up.
She's all types of fucked.
So I had my revenge.
See, that's the thing. I'm still too petty for that shit. I had to double down on that shit. Yeah. Since I found out, I had to hunt her ass down. Seems like you're not good enough to be a teacher. Yeah. And dipped on her ass, goofy bitch.
Yeah. So yeah, those are the two that I despise. But they fucked hilarious. Each other up, literally and non.
That is awesome. I actually have no remorse for that bitch.
No.
Goofy fuck.
So yeah, good riddance. Yeah. And just because you're friends with popular teenagers, mind you, right, doesn't mean you can play those teenager games. You should be the adult in the situation.
Nah, they'll fuck the journalism. Like at least fuck your way up, you know what I mean? Like fuck the principal or somebody in charge or some shit.
Not a new
journalist teacher who has no pull anywhere. No, just hormonal idiots. Like, get the fuck out of here. Mm-hmm. Well, on that note, I think this is the perfect time for a commercial break, don't you think?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Let's take a quick break, and then we'll come back with more actual nonsense. Because that's a lot of fucking nonsense right there.
Yeah, it was great.
Jesus Christ. Okay, everybody, we are back. Did you enjoy your commercials? Did you have fun with those? Oh, and by the way, I'm officially and non-officially still sponsored by Deets Nuts.
Dietz and Watson. These nuts are meat nuts. Meat nuts.
Deets Nuts. Grab a handful. Just sad that I actually know that commercial by heart.
Yeah, that's terrible.
I can't even hear the commercial. I just know how it goes. But yeah, grab a handful of Deets Nuts. All right. Have you had some?
Yeah, they're great.
They're fucking delicious. They're a fun snack.
Yeah, they are.
Deets Nuts aren't nuts though. Nuts. They're meat nuts.
That was not English.
Yeah, it was. Deets Nuts aren't nuts. They're meat nuts. Deets Nuts are meat nuts. Deets Nuts.
Okay.
Anyway.
So, we talked about teachers we hated.
Yes.
How about teachers you really liked and that actually made school worth it for you?
Why don't you start, since you ended on such a great note? I don't think I don't want to follow up that story. That story's too damn good.
What? I can't. Okay. I have 3.
Okay.
So, as I mentioned, I have dyslexia. Right. I was in special classes, for English, because English is different for people that have that. Yeah. Right? So, both of we called them LD teachers for learning disabilities, but both of them were special education teachers and went through a lot of school. But those two aren't number one. They taught me how to work around having a disability. One of them was really cool. Is Miss McDonald. She actually had throat cancer, so she lost her voice for most of her adult life.
No shit.
Couldn't talk. So she had to use sign language for a lot of her time. So she worked a lot with deaf kids. Right. She learned and got to the point where she could talk, and she sounded really nasally, I guess, but she taught herself how to talk again. That's nice. Which was amazing, right? So she...
But making sure, she just lost her voice. She wasn't deaf.
No. Okay. Yeah, no. She just...
So she wasn't doing like the deaf speech where it's like, like that shit. Not making fun of deaf people.
Right.
But, I mean, you motherfuckers don't know you sound funny.
Yeah.
You sound funny. It's okay. I understand you can't hear it, but continue.
Right. No, she didn't sound like that. She could still hear, but her voice, she had cancer in her throat, so talking sounded weird.
That makes sense.
It was more like nasally, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
I guess she had to bypass part of her throat.
Right.
So, sounds really just coming up and out of her nose, I guess.
Yeah. But she got to that point where she could talk, and she got back into teaching non-deaf kids.
Right.
Which was us. So we learned, we did like English and math. She did math a lot, which I wasn't bad at math, so I didn't take her classes a whole lot.
Right.
But I wasn't there for a lot of the time. And the other LD teacher is Mrs. Dudley. I think is still in the school. I'm not entirely sure.
Shout out to Mrs. Dudley then.
Yeah. But she actually, like, we did a project on, like, who inspired us in school, and she was, like, my choice, because she was so good at it.
That's awesome.
But she was amazing. She was so encouraging and just was very, like, accommodating to everyone. And as soon as we came into her class, she was like, all right, what are those other teachers teaching you? Let's go over it again. And made sure that you knew everything that was going on, no matter if it was her thing or not.
Nice.
And that was the thing I appreciated from her.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. That's that going above and beyond shit that I actually really appreciate in teachers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was really cool.
That's good.
It's not really relevant, I guess, but she was one of the only black people in our entire system.
No shit.
So she
and people have the nerve to want to call you racist.
Yeah.
Your most inspirational teacher was the only black teacher.
Yeah.
That's fucking nuts.
Yeah. So black history really wasn't a thing in our school. We didn't learn about it. We didn't do anything with it. But she always made it a point to do a little bit of it. So she didn't want to take away from, like, a lot of the other things she had going on, but she tried to squeeze in a little bit here and there.
Yeah. Sure, she knocked out the Mount Rushmore of black history, probably Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks.
Yeah.
Malcolm X?
No.
No? Say Malcolm X? That's fine. That's pretty much all you need. Emmett Till?
No.
Nope. I think Emmett Till's more special for here.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Or just those two?
What, that she taught us?
That she taught for black history?
I don't remember much of it. Okay. But, I remember watching, like, King's speech.
Martin King. You actually watched the whole speech?
Mm-hmm.
No shit. I never watched that shit.
Yeah, we did that.
We watched the cartoon. The Martin Luther King, like Little King or some shit, like Little Luther, Little Martin. I don't know what the fuck it was. It was a little something.
Yeah, we did that. I don't know. I don't remember much about it though.
It's fine. You ain't missing nothing.
Okay.
But that's coming from a black dude. Just want to make sure you guys remember, I am black, and you ain't missing shit.
Yeah. But yeah, she was one of the only black people in our entire circle of living at that point. Like, we didn't see many black people where we're from.
Right.
So yeah, that was really cool.
That's
and
nice.
She really emphasized on how people are people and everything, we're the same.
Yeah.
No matter what. Because, being in a hillbilly type neighborhood,
there's a handful of racists.
There's some racism going on.
Right.
So she really emphasized on that.
That's good. That's really good. So that's how you fix it. Mm-hmm. She'd be canceled now. You know that?
Oh yeah.
Because you can't say everybody's the same, man. You're priming people for their racial ethnicity or some shit like that.
Right. We're different.
Everybody's different. No one's the same.
Mm-hmm.
Don't discount my history.
Right.
Some shit like that. I don't fucking know. It's so stupid.
The last one, I think you know.
I know him. Yano.
Mr. Yano. He was a computer science teacher, and literally this man was so awesome. Like, his classes were not the greatest because computers weren't a huge thing where we're from.
Yeah, that bumfuck nowhere in hillbilly land.
Yeah. So you either, move to the city, which was, in our town, Pittsburgh, which nobody really moved away from our little town. So
right.
That was unheard of. So computers wasn't a job that was feasible unless you moved away. But it was always in my plan to move. So I was like, yeah, let's do this. It was literally, with teacher included, there was 5 people in this class.
Damn.
That was it.
That's nuts.
Yeah. And like I said, you had to kind of pick what you wanted to get into, and things were kind of set up kind of like how college is.
Right.
Where you choose what you want to study.
That's and again, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Because I did not have that choice.
No. So yeah, nobody really got into the computer stuff unless they just like I did with the journalist dick, that they just didn't, they needed an extra credit, and that was the thing they did. But I was actually interested in computers, and I went in there seriously.
Right.
And he appreciated it, and he saw it. So I think there was a test, I know for sure, where I was dealing with a lot of things, and I couldn't make it for the test. But he was like, he asked me 2 questions out of this test that was like 3 pages long. And he was like, you know this. A+.
No shit.
Yeah.
Get wrecked half the rest of the class.
Yeah. He was like, you're fine. I would go on with him on jobs that actually you do now, is making computers work in teachers' classrooms and putting computers in, and did stuff like that. So
that's cool.
It was really fun. It was cool to have somebody that was like really interested in what you were interested in, and got that passion up for you.
You dragged it out of you.
Yeah. And then even after I graduated and I moved on, and I was in the real world and I had a job. Mm-hmm. Like, he would come into my job and be like, "All right, what's the next steps? What are you doing now?" And I told him what I was hoping to do next, and he was like, "All right, make sure you do this, this, and this." And it was cool.
What I'm talking about, man.
Yeah.
Yano sounds like a foreign name. What was he? Asian?
Yeah, he was Asian.
I know, no shit. It's computers. Why did I even second guess that shit?
I think it was Japanese, but I don't know for sure.
No shit.
I don't know for sure.
Yano, right?
Yeah.
That might be Japanese.
Yeah.
That might be Japanese. 2 syllables, two lettered syllables at that too. Yano, yeah. Fucking domo arigato, Mr. Yano.
Yep. Yeah, he's a cool dude.
You still have any way to keep up with that guy?
No.
No Facebook or nothing like that?
No, he didn't have any of that.
Smart man.
Mm-hmm.
That's everybody?
Yeah, those are my teachers.
All right.
What about you?
Okay, so I have a lot.
Yeah.
I have a lot of teachers. Most of them are in high school. So my 2 history teachers and my second and last year of school. So I can't remember either of their names. Well, not my sophomore history teacher, but he taught me a lot. He was again very particular on read as much as you possibly can, right? So same thing. He was like, I don't care if you read it. He was like, I just want you to bring me a book every day. He was like, just anything. It could be the same book, but I was like, I want you to bring a book. Because if you carry a book, you'll eventually read it. You know what I mean? And I was like, yo, that's dope. And he was like, tell me something. Anything about it if you can. Just read the back of the cover. Just, slowly expand your knowledge. And I really appreciated that. So he's really big into that, and he was really big into current events. Because he was like, everything that's happening in the world is going to affect you one way or another eventually. So he was really big on those 2 things. It's continuously expanding your knowledge and shit like that. And he did a lot of just questioning. He wasn't really like, all right, we're going to open a book and look at this and learn it. It was, all right, what's going on in the world? What's going on in your lives? What are you guys interested? He was really big into just crowd work. You know what I mean? And I really appreciate it. I learned a lot in this class. I definitely learned how to question shit a lot more. I learned how to pay attention to certain shit a lot more. I was very big into dissecting shit. Not like conspiracy wise, but just like, all right, well, if this happened, why did this happen? What caused this to happen? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And he was really big on that. And then my other teacher for history was Mr. Poochie. Pooch Mo is what we used to call him.
Pooch Mo.
Pooch Mo. Pooch folks. He was super good. He was my teacher, my history teacher in the election year. And I was one of the few kids that was eligible to vote in high school. So he knew this was going to be a huge thing that he wanted to discuss because it's the 2008 Obama's first crack at becoming the president. You know what I mean? And I was 18 at that point. Now that I think about it, I wasn't even... Was that? Yeah, no, that was election year. That's right, because I watched the inauguration was in 2009. But the election year was 2008. All right, I got it. I had to remember it. Either way, so that was like his big thing. He did, the standard stuff that you're supposed to teach. Learn these dates, blah, blah, blah. But once it came to around election time, he was like, all right, we're going to go head first into this. And I want to talk, politics with you. And that's when I not developed a love for politics, or I developed an interest. Like I understood that politics was a game, in a sense. And he really kind of heightened that. And I really appreciate him just looking at it, because that's what made me start to think critically. Was he was like, and it was something simple. And I think I've told this story before, at least with you. But it was super simple. He just literally came into class. He was like, all right, so how many of you guys are going to be able to vote this year? And I think it was maybe like 4 of us that raised our hands entirely. And he was like, it's good. The rest of you, I still want you to think about this. I want you to come back and tell me tomorrow who you're going to vote for. It's like, relax, and I don't need you to tell me now. Think about it. Really, he's like, really think about it and come back tomorrow and tell me who you're going to vote for. Now, mind you, we're in a predominantly black school. So this was a non-question. Everybody came back the next day, and he's like, cool, we're going to have an open discussion about politics. So first off, who you guys all voting for? And he was like, all right, by show of hands, who's voting for Obama? Whole fucking class. And then he was like, and for McCain? And I was like, the only fucker that rose my hand. And everybody looked at me like I was out of my rabbit-ass mind. Now, I'm going to say this, and this is going to sound stupid now, but it was funny to me then. I didn't give a shit either way. As soon as I seen everybody raise their hands for Obama, I was like, oh, well, now I got to be an asshole. So I was just like, I'm voting for the other guy.
True to your nature.
True to my nature, man. This is origin story of Bob.
Yeah.
Just playing devil's advocate. So he was like, cool. He was like, no shame. Everybody can vote for who they want to. This is a free country. This is what we're all about. So he goes around the class and he starts asking me, so what do you like about Obama? What makes you want to vote for him? And at this point, mind you, I think I've told this story too. We've already met Obama. All of us have mostly have seen him before because he played in our staff versus student basketball game.
He didn't live that far from your high school either.
Not at all. He was literally like, a walking distance. Mm-hmm. So he played in that game, and we had all got to like kind of meet him when he was still a senator. So this is well before he became, presidential class at all. So we had all met him. We kind of knew about him, And so either way, he was going around the class asking everybody, why would you vote for him? 90% of the class was honest. I'm voting for him because he's black. And he was like, that's fine. It makes sense, and you're honest. Then it got to the handful of, so-called intellects. And guess who they were? Black chicks. They were like, well, I like his policies on this, that, and the other. He's looking out for the poor people. He's looking out for our people. He's trying to do this and that. And I'm just sitting there just like, that sounds like bullshit. Like, I didn't say it out loud because I'm, again, not trying to be a full dick. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate. And so he gets to everybody and he was like, so if I'm not mistaken, only you voted for McCain. And he was like, why? And he was like, well, I don't know either their politics, but I do understand something very simple. And I was like, well, I forgot her name, but I was like, she's right. Obama's doing a lot because he's part of the Democratic Party. So he's pulling a lot of programs for the lower class. And that's going to cost the upper class a lot of money in the long run because they're the ones that pay the majority of taxes. I learned this over time. I knew that upper class people pay pretty much all the taxes. The lower class pays no taxes. And I was like, yeah, he's just going to develop a lot of new, programs and policies that are just going to tax the wealthy very heavily and, just throw free money and shit at poor people. And then the one, intelligent black chick jumped up and immediately was pissed off. And she was like, well, why wouldn't you like that? These are your people. He's looking out for us. And I was like, no, he's not. I don't plan on being poor my entire life. I plan on working hard and moving my way up into the middle class, if nothing else. I don't want to get taxed out the ass as soon as I make it there. And I don't want to be given anything for free. I don't think that's fair to other people. And it literally was just like I sucked the air out of the room at that point. Mm-hmm. And Poochie listened to me, talk say shit like that for a while. Like I was just going back and forth for a little bit. I'm not gonna bore you with all the details, but that was like the big gas moment. And he looked at me. He came to me after that class, and I remember this like wholeheartedly. He was like, just so I know, even if you don't actually want to vote for McCain or not, I'm just glad that you thought that through that deeply. He's like, I'm just proud of you for thinking it all the way through. It's like, I'm not saying that it's bad to just vote for him just because he's black, but also just appreciate that you're at least looking at the bigger picture as a whole, which is how you should look at your politics. And I was like, yeah, that's all. I was just thinking. I was just playing devil's advocate. And I told him straight. I was like, I was honestly just, I was just trying to think. I don't even know who I'm voting for, and I really don't care either way. And he was like, either way, as long as you're thinking and you know what your decision is going to be. So, shout outs to Pooch Mo for, again, hyping up my critical thinking skills.
Shout out Pooch Mo.
Pooch Mo. And then the last one in high school, I would say, is probably my network administration's teacher. So in my school, somewhat similar to your school, we had classes just basically dictating what you're going to do for jobs. We called them education to career classes. So there were just certain classes that you took that were based on job market. So you had your culinary class, your radio TV class, engineering and development and stuff like that. I took network plus because it sounded easy. Literally, is the only reason I took it. I was like, well, everything else is full, and this one sounds kind of easy. So I was like, fuck it, I'll take this one. And I knew like 2 kids that were going to take it. I was like, fuck it. I mean, it's a computer class nonetheless. This teacher, day one, I'll never forget this. As soon as she came in, she was like, everything you think you know, that you think you might know about this class, let's just go ahead and say that you don't know shit. You don't know anything. You won't learn anything if you think you know something. And I hold that phrase near and dear to my heart till this day. Yeah. Because the motherfuckers that come into a class thinking they know some shit, they fuck up. Yeah. Because you already come in big-headed, think you know something when you don't know a damn thing. Mm-hmm. So, hands down, shout outs to her for that. She definitely pushed me harder than I ever had. That was one of the only classes I've actually had to that was 3 years running. So that was sophomore until senior year. I took the same class for 3 years straight. Mm-hmm. Sophomore year, it was only 1 period, and then every year after that was a double period class. You stay in there for almost an hour, 45 minutes. Mm-hmm. And I learned so much shit about computers. I learned so much more about networking. I learned a lot about careers. Because it wasn't just it wasn't just a class to learn these things and get out. It was, this is how you do job interviews. This is how you set up your resume. This is how you need to, act in the corporate world. Shit like that. Life.
That's really cool.
And she was really big on all of that stuff. And the last reason why I really cared, I really knew she actually gave a shit, was in our school, classroom sizes are no less than 20, 30 kids, no matter what. And even in a class like this, where it's a really niche thing, only 5 of us gave a fuck about the class. The rest of them were just there because they had to take the class. Yeah. She was fine with that. She was like, cool, you have to take the class. Just do enough to pass. I don't want you here. Mm. If you don't want to be here, don't be here. But if you're going to be here, do enough to get out. For the people who actually cared, she put the extra effort into. So for networking, for those of you who don't know what networking is, what I mean by is not social networking. It's literally the network of computers. So your Ethernets, you pretty much, I was learning how the internet works entirely. From server to server, cable to cable, all of that shit, from PC to PC. I knew what the internet was at a high school level. Like, I was deep into what the internet is. Motherfuckers don't know shit about IP addresses other than their own. Like, I know the IP addresses of every website, every server that goes with that website. I know how far away that website server is. because I know how to easily look it up. Command prompts, all that shit, it's all shit I learned. Basic, coding and shit like that, batch files. I can bore you with that shit all day, every day. But yeah, she definitely pushed me far into that. So with networking, there comes certifications. These are Cisco level, high computer level certifications. So you have your Network Plus, your CCNA, CCIEs, all of that shit. High level computerized shit. She pushed us hard enough to become certified in a field before we left high school. No college necessary. She had us certified in a field, or at least attempted to. I think out of my class of 20 plus, only 5 of us were anywhere near any good at this class to take the test. We all went in to take the test. Everyone failed. Every last one of us failed. We were just not good enough.
No.
Sadly enough. But she looked into it, as we do, because those tests are high level, high skilled shit. You get your test score immediately. It's click, 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 done. Here's your score. You suck. So to pass, you need a score of 554, if I'm not mistaken. 553 was the threshold. Everybody scored in the 400s, 300s, and whatnot. And except for me. 554 was passing. I scored 553. I was a fucking point off. 1 fucking point off.
Wow.
My teacher saw that, understood how distraught I was about it, looked at me and said, "Do you really want to do this?" And I was like, "Yeah, why wouldn't I? I put all the effort in. It's 3 years running for me." She said, "That's fine. Give me some time. I'll make this happen." She comes to class the next week, and she says, "Do you have anything to do on Saturday?" And I was like, "No, I'm just going to hang out." She was like, "Come to school, meet me here. We're going to go have you retest." She personally paid for me to take a Cisco high-level test on her dime, on her time. She took me downtown, took me to an actual facility to have this test retaken, and I passed.
Nice.
Because she doubled down with me, put me through the ringer, made sure I knew everything inside and out. I mean, damn near to the point where I was building servers in my personal time. And not even like full server. I was building actual servers, and I was digitally configuring servers and routers on my personal time. Like I was just killing that shit after a while. And thanks to her, I was Network Plus certified. And I was able to get my first job. And my current job still, thanks to her. I'm living a life because of her hard efforts,
That's really cool.
Hell yeah, man. So shout outs to her, man. Shout outs to her for putting me through the ringer. And then the last 2 I'm going to tell you about, because I know I've been talking for a minute. But the last 2 were important because you said something in the last episode that made me want to make sure I brought these 2 up last. As we mentioned in the last episode, I went through a gifted program when it came to schooling. So 1 teacher per 2 grades. So when I got to third through 6th grade, I had 1 teacher for 3rd and 4th, 1 teacher for 4th and 5th. Right? 4th and 5th. Wait. 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. Sorry. Way off. So 1 teacher for each of those sets. But these 2 teachers were like inseparable teachers. They worked hand in hand continuously. Those 2 classrooms were in the modular buildings. I don't know if you guys had modular buildings back then.
No.
So picture like your school's so big and has so many kids, they ain't got room for your ass. So they stick you out in a trailer.
What? A trailer?
A trailer. They built trailers on the outside of our school. 2 classrooms per trailer. And they had those trailers on lock, man. They were right next to each other.
I think the only thing kind of like that we had was our band room at school because the sound was so loud that they had to put it away. So
that makes sense. Put you guys outside.
Yeah. But I guess it was kind of like a trailer, but not really.
I'm gonna look up the trailer just so I can see if we can see an image of it. They call them modular buildings because you can't just call it a trailer.
Right.
But no, that's what the fuck it was. It was a trailer. Yeah, that's a perfect image of a trailer building. That's it.
Oh yeah, I've seen those
Yeah,
around.
they're all around the cities. There's literally just like two
That's
classrooms stuck into them,
insane.
and they're fucking outside.
Do they have like air conditioning,
No,
heating?
they have
No.
electricity.
Okay.
I don't think they had heat and gas.
Huh.
I don't remember if they did. If they did, shit scared the fuck out of me then. Prove me wrong. But I don't think ours had any of that. We definitely, because I remember us having fans and we had a shit ton of windows.
Mm.
And it was never super cold. Because they were insulated very well. So no, I don't think we had that problem. But either way, these two teachers worked hand in hand, right?
Mm-hmm.
Best teachers I ever had. Miss Sullivan and Miss Santino. Shout outs to Miss Sullivan and Miss Santino. I think Miss Sullivan passed away some years ago.
Oh no.
She was a much older lady. She was like Golden Girls old when I had her class, dude. Like full white afro Golden Girls. Like she old as hell. And Miss Santino I actually caught up with recently when I was working. And she was so proud to see me. She was like, "You were such a quiet kid." It's like, "I've never actually heard you talk."
Oh.
And I was like, "I don't remember that actually." She's like, "You're so well spoken now. Like, it's so incredible to see you like this." And I'm like, didn't know I was that quiet. But either way, I remember screaming "fuck ass" as a kid in her class because I watched South Park.
That.
Yeah, I was a South Park kid, so I used to scream about, shut your fucking face, Uncle Fucker. Neither here nor there. But these two teachers were the most incredible teachers for one simple reason. They understood free time more than any other teacher I've ever had. They allowed you to, do some fun shit every once in a while. That's why I grew up. I grew up playing. What's that game? It was like a hot rod drag racing game. We used to play that shit. Used to play Oregon Trails. She bought us a Pokedex. I had my own very Pokemon. But I never played with it because I had my own Pokedex at home. Right. But yeah, we used to play board games and shit like that consistently. And what their big thing is school. You're gonna learn what you need to learn in school, but that's not gonna teach you what's available in life. So they took us everywhere. Like kids get field trips, in school. What, once, maybe twice a year, and it's very minor shit. We were gone once a month. Once a month, we were going fucking somewhere. We had special classes at museums. They signed us up for classes at museums where we're going to art museums and learn about art in the museum.
The aquarium that I worked at had classes like that. They like dissected squids and stuff
like that. But we were doing this shit every week. So like maybe during the spring season, we go to one specific fucking art museum and we just be there every Thursday. Like, we're going to this museum Thursday, so you guys can do your art thing. Fuck the art in the school. The art classes in the school suck. We're gonna take you to a museum. You're gonna learn there. So we did that shit weekly. So we did that. We went to operas and plays consistently. So that's where I developed my love for theater and shows and performances. They taught us music themselves. They said fuck the music class in the school. They bought us all recorders, and we piped the fuck out of them recorders. But they weren't just like, "Oh, play this fucking terrible sound." They're like, "No, you're gonna play this recorder well." I like, when you see the recorder kids on TV shows where everybody's squeaking. There was not a squeak in our class. We were that damn good. No one squeaked. We all knew how to read sheet music. I was reading sheet music in 3rd grade.
Wow.
Yeah, we were killing it. I was going to operas consistently, and then every year we would perform our own opera. Yearly. They would mix it up. I think we did, I know we did Cinderella. We performed Les Miserables, Barbara Seville, and there was one other, and I can't think of the name. Les Miserables was my favorite. I actually really enjoyed that. And then they would do it the same way. As early in the year, they're like, we're going to go see it first, and then we're going to recreate it by the end of the school year. And they would rent out a small theater at the library, and we would go there and we would perform our opera every year. Same library. So yeah, no, it was fucking dope. Those teachers went above and beyond yearly to teach us new shit. And what made it cool is they knew that our parents weren't, super rich. You know what I mean? So we couldn't afford to go on trips consistently. They flipped the bill for a lot of that shit, and they knew how to cut costs. Fuck renting a school bus. Never took the school bus. You know where the metro train is.
Yeah.
You know where my school was.
Yeah.
Our asses were on the metro train every time we went to a fucking school,
At that
anything else.
point, $2 a kid. There
It was
you
like
go.
$1 a kid, dude. We were spending no money. It was $1 each way, and it was like, yeah, and it's $5 to rent a bus per kid.
Yeah.
Let's just hop on a train. We would hop on a train, get off at what would be Millennium eventually. No, we just got off on a Randolph exit, and we would just walk to wherever we had to go.
There you go.
We were just huffing it. We were kids, and they trust us, and they had us under control enough. 2 teachers took 4 grades worth of kids.
Wow.
It's like fucking 50, 60 kids.
Yeah.
Only took 2 teachers to corral that many kids. And we were walking downtown Chicago midday.
See, I working in an aquarium where school kids came a lot. These kids don't listen
To shit.
to anything.
Not a damn
And then
thing.
The teachers will be off on their phones over on the corner there, or you'd get the really good ones that like engage with the kids. But there's like 5 of them there with like 10 kids.
Exactly.
That's insane.
2 teachers was corralling 60 kids damn near.
That's
No
insane.
problem. Every once in a while, they ask for one parent to show up. And most of the parents are just like, yo, we're going to see a show?
Right.
I want to go see a show.
Right.
They didn't give a damn about keeping the kids together.
No.
They were just like, one extra body just to make sure that we kept count. We were riding a fucking public train. Dude, I feel bad for every person. Shout out to, what was that, like, from the year 2000, I want to say 2001 to 2004. If you had to take the metro train and we had a field trip, I apologize in advance. Because that was like 50 kids. We ate up a whole ass metro train. Like one compartment, like one of them rooms,
Yeah.
it was just us.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, it'd be just like somebody trying to get to work. And it was like, nope, you fucked up. You better get out.
You have to stand over there.
You might want to go into one of them other compartments.
Oh,
Because we finna run this bitch.
Wow.
Just 4 grades. 4 grades. It's no less.
insane.
I think it was like 30 kids per class. Because it's 15 per grade, 30 per class. So yeah, let's just say 60 kids running a metro train. 60 people on one metro train. And then we got off downtown
Yeah.
and was just roaming the streets. Nobody ever got lost.
That's crazy.
Nobody ever got lost. We never missed a kid. We didn't lose a kid anywhere. Everybody got on and off the train, no problem. We never missed the train. None of that shit.
Wow.
And then you wonder why I'm so comfortable on public transportation. We was killing the game on the metro, dude. Metro's the shit.
Yeah.
Love the metro, dude.
Yeah.
I remember the commercial from way back when. Metro, the way to really fly. Oh, jazzy ass nigga shit. Love that shit, dude.
Goodness.
Miss that shit. I definitely miss that. Field trips back then were dope. We took a shit ton of field trips. We always were catching the show, man. We always caught the Christmas special. We always got to watch the Scrooge thing. We watched movies consistently. We dissected a lot of shit. We learned tons of shit. We had tons of free time to learn on our own. It was the best, dude. The only bad thing about that was I remember being in, I think it was like 3rd or 4th grade, and that's when Pokemon hit big, right? Pokemon was the shit around about that time. Guess what our school did? They banned Pokemon.
What?
Yeah, they banned Pokemon. No Pokemon cards whatsoever. They considered it gambling.
Wow.
So no gambling in schools. So they took all of our Pokemon cards away. But our teachers, dope as fuck as they are, they understood what Pokemon was, and they were like, as long as ain't nobody fighting over them, bring your Pokemon cards, show them off, whatever. You can trade them if you want to. But I don't want to see anybody in here battling and taking anybody else's cards.
Yeah.
I don't want anybody cheating anybody else out of any cards, and nobody stealing anybody else's cards. But you guys can bring them, you can carry them, you can show them off, that's fine. And I was like, decent. So we still got to keep Pokemon, but it was banned anywhere else, so we couldn't take them outside the classroom.
Right.
Which means somebody always tempted to steal them at that point. But it is what it is, kid shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Those are my favorite teachers, man. But shout out to Miss Sullivan and Miss Tisdale. No, not Tisdale. Santino. Sullivan and Santino. That's what I'm saying. Like that program was fucked, but those 2 teachers handled it incredibly well.
Yeah.
They both taught 2 grades apiece in a modular building outside, and was taking kids on metro trains to go see a show at the Chicago Theater downtown. No problem.
That's
It
crazy.
was the best, dude. Fucking love that shit, dude. And that's why I'm so critical of fucking performances, is because like I've been watching them since I was a kid. I know what a good performance is supposed to look like. I performed in multiple performances.
Yeah.
So it's just like, dude, like, gotta have some skill, man.
Yeah.
Gotta have some skill. Yeah, no, those were some of my favorite teachers. Those two, they fucking killed the game. They understood what it was like to fucking show show some kids the world.
All right. Well, that was school days.
That was school days. Damn, we see in an hour exactly. See, it was a perfect split, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you guys want more of this stuff, let us know. If not, fuck you. It was really fun. As for me and Kelly, we are out of here, and we will catch you another episode. So don't forget, do all the stuff. Will this be up in time? Yes, this should be up in time. The 15th, FNF streams. Do not miss this one. Super important.
Super important.
Super important you don't miss this one. I told you in two podcasts ago. Get your shit together. Connect your Twitch to your Amazon Prime account. Get that shit linked up. Because we are watching a movie. We're watching The Sand, right? Is that the name of the movie?
The Sand.
The Sand. We'll be watching The Sand together as the effing family.
Effing family.
The effing family.
Okay.
We were watching a movie together with color commentary between the two of us.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be super fun. And we don't want you to miss out because this is one of those one and done things. This will not be recorded. This is not going to YouTube. This is, you better be there or be square. So do not miss out on that one. TikTok coming soon. Twitter should be up and available by now. So make sure you follow all the new stuff. And until the 15th, I will see you guys another time, right? Yeah, ain't nothing else coming out until the 15th. Peace. Goodbye. Drink water.
Drink water.
Stay hydrated, fellas. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Nonsense Podcast. Remember, tune in on your favorite streaming site like Spotify, Apple, or Google Podcasts. Also, don't forget to check us out on YouTube at FM Bob Show to listen to the podcast and watch videos by yours truly. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I also stream twice a month. The FNF streams on twitch.tv. Just remember to search the FM Bob on twitch.tv. And make sure you follow so you never miss out when I stream on the 1st and 15th at 7 p.m. Most importantly, follow me on Facebook at FM Bob Show so you can get updated on all things FM Bob and interact with the community. Thanks, guys, and I'll see you next time.